There's something I read about people when they start making more money, they begin to, I guess, indulge in more expensive versions of what they were doing before. And then simple pleasures aren't as pleasurable to them anymore. So there can be this sort of backfire effect of becoming more successful or rich or whatever it is, and then just experiencing less joy because they're just not getting the feedback that they used to.
Well, definitely. That goes to a couple of points. One, the age-old question about whether money buys happiness. Now, it's actually far more complex than most people realise. So you can't really answer that with a yes or no, which most people want a yes or no. But there's definitely some no to that, and that's what you've touched on there. And this is what psychologists and economists have sometimes called the hedonic treadmill. I think that might be what you're referring to.
I think
which
so.
is where you're sort of constantly chasing something, and particularly in our society where there's so much emphasis on growth, on economic growth, well, more money, more stuff, which isn't entirely bad, and this is why it's more complex. But one of the problems that can arrive, as you quite said, is that if you, this is why people that earn more money don't necessarily save more, because they often just end up spending more. So, for example, I would never spend as much on this on a shirt as I spent on this 20, 30 years ago. When I was a student, poor student. Let's just say when you're, if you're 20, you might spend $20 on a shirt because that's all you can afford. You're struggling. But as you start to earn more and more money, you might spend $50, and then maybe you spend $100. And it's
you should be allowed to spend your age on a shirt.
I only just thought I'd have that. But it's the same with cars. It's the same with a house. You buy, if you're lucky enough to be able to afford a house, or even renting. And so, now again, there's not necessarily anything inherently wrong with spending more money or buying nice clothes, but there is a risk, and that's what you've said, that if you effectively if you change your definition of what will give you pleasure, you continue to raise the bar, it can be harder and harder to achieve that.
To check out the full interview, there'll be a link somewhere. I'm sure you'll figure it out. You're an adult, presumably.